Hi, and welcome back to Hook Eat Up. Are you looking for a cocktail for your next cocktail party? Or interested in just making a new drink? Well, I've got the recipe for you. Now, I had this drink at the Charlie Hotel in Medellin, Colombia. It features pineapple, cinnamon, and let me tell you, it is delicious. And I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, to make this cocktail, you're going to need the following things. You're going to need the cocktail shaker. You're going to need a good amount of ice, some aged dark rum. Now, the reason why I'm going with aged dark rum is that rum is aged in oak cask, and that's going to bring a nice woody undertone to the cocktail. You're also going to need a cup of hot water, half a cup of sugar, one pineapple. Now, I got this pineapple from the produce section already chopped into cubes. Rather than having to peel a pineapple myself, you might want to go ahead and do the same thing. But don't use canned pineapples, because what you're going to be doing with these pineapples is covering them with about a cup of sugar the night before that you make this, and that's going to draw out all the fluid from the pineapples and help to make the pineapple syrup. You're also going to need some cinnamon, and if you want to get fancy, some cinnamon sticks. Now, to get started on this cocktail, the first thing that we need to do is make our pineapple syrup. Now, to make the pineapple syrup, the first part is making a simple syrup. Now, we're going to be making a 2-to-1 simple syrup, which really means that we're using 2 parts of water to 1 part of sugar. And in this recipe, it's going to be 1 cup of water to half a cup of sugar. Now, here's how you make simple syrup. First thing you want to do is get a small pot, and you're going to heat up the water. Now, you want to bring a cup of water to a boil. Now I'm going to put the sugar into the water as it's coming up to temperature and just stir it until I see all the sugar crystals are dissolved. Now, as the sugar is dissolving in the water, it's time to start working on our pineapples. Now I'm going to break out my blender. Now that our sugar is fully dissolved, I'm just going to pour that back into the cup and set this off to the side. Into the blender, we're going to add the pineapples and all that remaining juice. Cover that up. Power on. And now that we've pulsed that down to a pulp, we're going to add a cup of simple syrup. And then we're going to pulse this up again. I'm going to grab my strainer, and first I'm just going to pour all this through and catch our first, more or less our first pressing of our pineapple syrup. Now, after our first pass through the strainer, I was able to separate most of the syrup from the larger pieces of the pulp. But to get this even more refined, we're going to run it through the strainer again, either through a cheesecloth or through some paper towels. Now, since I don't have any cheesecloths handy, I'm going to be using paper towels and show you how to hack that with just some paper towels. So I'm going to grab 1 sheet of paper towels and just line that along the bottom of the strainer. And then I'm going to grab the same refined syrup and run that through once again. So now that we have our pineapple syrup all strained out, you'll see that the syrup is nice and clear. You can take that pulp. You're not going to want to squeeze this too aggressively because it'll burst. But you get the last bits of juice out, and then toss it. So now we're set to bring this cocktail all together. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is add my ice to the cocktail shaker. Get that loaded up. And with the rest of the ice water, I'm going to chill my cocktail glass. Into the shaker, we're going to add 2 ounces of the pineapple syrup. 1, 2. Now I forgot to mention that we're using lime in this recipe. What you're going to do is take the juice from one lime, which is about 1 ounce, and you're going to squeeze that right into the shaker. Last thing we're going to add is our rum. Now I'm adding about 2 ounces of rum. Then we're going to give this a nice shake. So I'm going to set the cocktail off to the side and get set up for the final presentation of the drink. But in the meantime, I'm going to preserve the rest of this pineapple syrup. So I have my mason jar here. And what we're going to do is just pour the rest of this in, which is going to be about 2 cups worth, directly into the mason jar. And if you're going to be keeping this for some time, it would be a good idea to add some rum or vodka to the syrup, because that's going to help preserve it. So I have some vodka here, and I'm going to add about 1.5 ounces just to help keep this preserved. Now you can keep this pineapple syrup in your fridge for about a week, but if you're going to be having a cocktail party, you might as well put it into one of those squeeze bottles so that you have it on hand to whip up as many cocktails as you need. Now to finish this drink off, we're going to toss the ice water. And then we're going to strain out the cocktail right back in. We're going to take the cinnamon, toss a little bit into the palm of our hand, and then you're just going to sprinkle right in the center some of the cinnamon powder. Then I'm going to take one of the cinnamon sticks, a nice thin pretty one, and set that right down the side. And there you have it, the pineapple drip. Now if you've enjoyed this cocktail recipe, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comments section below. Thank you for joining me at Hook Eat Up. Stay tuned for more videos.